The never-ending increase on gas prices, working Americans appear to be cutting back or feel that they have to choose between certain necessities, including electricity, food, and even water. Joining us now to discuss this is the host of Wise Guys, John Tabacco. John, always great to have you on and get your take on this. You know, many Americans right now, they're forced to cut back on their spending habits in order to keep up with inflation that we're seeing. Is it better right now to cut back or to buy now before we see these costs grow even higher?
Well, look, it's really sad that Americans have to be faced with the decision, should we stock up now so that we have some stuff to eat a few months from now? Unfortunately, people weren't thinking about that a year and a half ago when they voted for Joe Biden and his progressive agenda. But Kilmeny, I was looking at some old shows that I was on with you about 4 or 5 months ago, when we were talking about how wages were up 5%, but inflation was at 6.5%. So many people actually got a pay cut in the last year. And the one thing that I was looking at back then, and I'm looking at right now, is the import pricing index. And the import pricing index is showing us that imports are going to be around 12% 6 months out from now. So I think to your point, people may want to start stocking up. Many people probably wish they stocked up on baby formula. For Wise Guys, we hit the streets a lot, and I say, hey, inflation's at 8.5%. How's it hitting you? And they go, hey, don't say 8.5%. My gas is double. My flank steak was $60. Now it's $80. So it's hitting people in a lot of ways, and maybe stocking up. But it's sad in America, we got to think about stocking up on food and gas.
Well, the person that's still eating that prime steak seems to still be doing pretty well. When Americans look at this, especially when you take into consideration that the latest numbers that we saw exceeded those projections, I mean, Americans have to be asking the question, what is driving this and how long is it going to last?
Well, look, if you listen to the progressive talking points, this is the Putin tax. It's the Putin gas hike. It's the Putin food shortage. But if you're a sane person, and I like to think I'm sane, and I've been in the capital markets for a long time, there are a lot of things in effect here. And one of them is Joe Biden came into office and printed approximately 25% of all the dollars in circulation. So right there, the U.S. dollar that people think they have in their pocket is worth about 75 cents. And he has a stated goal of removing fossil fuels completely. So the more difficult and the more costly they make it to drive a car, the more, I guess, they think people will buy electric vehicles. And look, I hate to talk about, 2.5 years out now about maybe we need a new president, which I think we do. But like I said, when I'm talking to those housewives out in the streets and the supermarkets and stuff, one said it great. She said, I can't get flank steak, hence we eat chicken. Mm. So people are actually going down a level because they just can't get the same stuff they used to. And I think that's kind of what the progressives want.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. I mean, I think the change at the guard is even a conversation that Democrats are happening right now as people look certainly down the road at 2024. And you already mentioned one example there of how consumers are changing their habits to deal with these higher costs. I mean, what would your advice to Americans be right now?
Well, look, my advice to Americans, it may sound cliche, but you got to get out there in the midterm elections and you got to vote for people who care about America. You got to vote for people who understand fiscal responsibility. And we've already seen a seismic shift in younger people thinking it's okay to stay home and let the government send you stimulus checks and put it in your Robinhood account and buy meme stocks and cryptocurrencies. But let's maybe go out there in November and put some sanity back on the board, where if Republicans control the House and the Senate, then we could put the brakes on some of the stuff that's been happening. And we're full steam ahead downhill right now. We need a little bit of a level off. And honestly, Kilmeny, a lot of people that I talk to out in the streets, and I love that Newsmax lets us get out in the streets and talk to regular people. But a lot of people say the same sentiment. Kids don't want to work anymore. They don't understand the value of hard work. And my dad used to say, if you don't work for the dollar, you're not going to respect the dollar. So I think we got to get some leadership that puts young people back on the path to hard work, and some people that don't want to just keep running the magic printing press in the sky and letting everybody think money is free.
John Tabacco, always appreciate your insights there. And I love hearing the conversations that you're having with the American public. I mean, these are the people that are going to be deciding who they elect, and that obviously dictates all of this. John Tabacco, have a great weekend.
Yeah, many thanks.